Good evening. Welcome back to Ribbon Candy Hooking. I'm Deanna, and it is gallery night tonight. This is a season of crazy weekends. I am sorry, it's not our usual night for gallery night, cocktail night, gallery night, but it's Thursday. It's close enough, isn't it? We're going to have a fantastic gallery night tonight, and it's going to give you the impression that it is Friday. That's always good, isn't it? Unless it's Thursday and you're in no hurry, which is another thing, isn't it? Oh, happy Thursday, everybody. It's going to be hard to keep saying that. I feel like such a bit of a Fruit Loop because I don't know if you're noticing, but my hair has changed colors 3 times this week. Did you see how shocking it was in the last couple of days? Nobody mentioned it, and I appreciate that because it was accidentally blue and green, which was not the intention. It was meant to be navy and mysterious. So I had to go back to a normal color because I could not stand looking like I was in my 50s, trying to look like I was in my, teens. So, dear, oh dear, it's me again. I'm back. Gosh, that was crazy. Happy gallery night, Linda. You have a beautiful piece in tonight. Happy Thursday. And there you are in New Hampshire. Great to see you. You have two nice pieces in tonight, I think. Oh, sorry about that. Yikes. Good to see you. I'm in a different place, as you can see. I just couldn't, cheers. I couldn't bear the thought of driving back. Thank you so much. Back to the studio today. I've already been there. And then I had to come home because it was literally freezing and snowing a little bit. And I didn't want the kids to have to walk home, because it was cold. It was cold. So I didn't want to go back to the studio. Although next time I go back to the studio, I wonder if you can see. Can you see the Santa? You can see that Santa, can't you? But you can't see this one too well. Well, it's really crazy in this house because the kid, you still can't see him, can you? The kids are still little. You know how much they love this crazy stuff. Um, Next time you see me in the studio, I have a green screen. So it might be possible to make it snow, which would be really fun for later in the month, one of our next episodes. Pam, great to see you. You have some great stuff in this show too. Great to see you in Liberty, South Carolina. Happy Thursday. Ryan, you too. Happy Thursday night. Can't wait to see everyone's awesome work. Peace and love to you too. It is awesome. Everybody always has awesome stuff. There's no question about that, is there? I just feel like it's an extra. Maybe there's so many festive pieces in the show. I'm just feeling very festive. And because of the way I was going to say coffee times, because of the way the gallery nights just broke down this season, I did the Halloween, but then I missed doing some Thanksgiving stuff. So we even have a couple of Thanksgiving rugs to look at that are beautiful. We've got a lot of good eye candy tonight, I'll tell you. Linda, great to see you. Something beautiful in the show. It's a trend. Can't wait to see all the amazing work. I know. We just have to do this more often, don't we? That is the thing. Dawn, great to see you in Michigan. Welcome back. I'm just realizing I have to make those, your garland. I have to make your garland pieces. Lisa, great to see you. Happy Thursday. I got to let this person up because he's going out of his mind. See, this is the thing about being here instead of at the studio. Buttons can't handle it if he can't be near Mama. Look at that feather tail. How cute is that thing? How cute. This whole thing is so cute. It's crazy. Here, you want to come over here? You want to come over and show your coot face? Want to show your coot face?
Oh gosh, I'm so cute. It's criminal. I don't even have a permit to be this cute.
We're going to breaking the law over here, Buttons. Lisa, Karen, great to see you. Beautiful work in tonight's show in Black Forest, Colorado. Mom, you remembered. Good to see you. It is a weird night, and I will see you tomorrow. We're together this weekend. The family's going to Concord, Massachusetts, so that's the reason I couldn't do it tomorrow night. But I think we're going to have a great show. I think it's going to work great. And we have lots of other shows coming up in December, too, that'll be fun. You never know. We might be able to squeeze in another gallery night even. Kirsten, great to see you. Yay for gallery night. That's right. And Mary Beth, isn't it Mary Beth? Great to beautiful work in tonight's show. Great to see you. Hello in Illinois. Barbara, beautiful work in the show. Great to see you. Happiness is our house tonight. Oh, hang on. Wait a minute. I got to scroll down and see what's going on. Patriots for the hubby and hooking for me. Well, that is absolutely perfect. You've got the yin and the yang happening, right? That is, who could ask for anything more That's a nice combo. Well, we have a lot of stuff to show, Buttons, don't we? Are you gonna make it possible to do tonight's show? Or are you gonna be too dang cute to let it happen? Oh my God, is he cute or what? He's such a good boy too. He's such a good boy. Well, let's get started because God knows I have got some stuff for you tonight. So let's get started. I want to show you some of the stuff I'm working on too. I'll do more of that as we get into it. You know what I forgot to say? The most important thing of all. Cheers, my dears. It is Thursday, right? We are not barbarians. We do. Cheers, my dears. I've got some glug wine tonight. Mm-hmm. He is such a cutie. He doesn't know he's on camera. He hates to have his photo taken. It's the weirdest thing. He hates it. As soon as he knows that you're holding up your phone to take a picture of him, okay. He knows I don't like to be kissed on the lips or in the mouth or on the teeth. Those are like my three that I prefer not as much as I love him. He's such a good boy. Glug wine, right? It's not hot now because we turned the heat up in here and it's one of my classic. This has got to go on my gravestone. Is it hot in here or is this menopause? Because I must say that at least 10 times every day. Whew, it's hard to tell. Love Mr. Buttons. I guess part of him is going to be in the show tonight. Just a slice of this beauty. Oh, I got to remember to cancel his appointment at Petco. I keep forgetting. They make you make appointments way in advance to get him like a bath and things like that. And as much as I would love to, it conflicts with our weekend away. And he smells so good. He smells so, there's nothing wrong with the way that he smells. He's such a good boy. Mm. All right, I'll leave that alone so we can get going. Buttons, let's show them some of the things that we're working on. There he goes. All right, I'll make some room. I'll scooch. All right, let's see. And I'll show you some of my projects on the frame in a little while too. I have to say, I am not bragging, but this product has gone absolutely crazy in the last 24 hours. This is the rag tree that I put up, I think yesterday, and I can't remember. No, it was the day before yesterday. I mean, it completely sold out the first run, and then I ordered some more yesterday morning, and the girl's cutting them right now, and she does a great job. These are beautiful trees. These are rags that I used from the studio, just rolls of braided stuff and extra wool that I had laying around. And I have to say, I've been experimenting with different forms this season, and I see a lot of rag trugs and trees trugs. I see a lot of rag trugs. I see the woolly trees and all that, and I like all that. I've seen it before, and I was kind of looking for something different, and I was experimenting with a lot of different prototypes and forms and stuff that I was finding on these wholesale websites, and I got this one, and I wasn't really sure it was going to work out, but I think it worked out great. It was just this. If you bought this tree, I put the video out today. And I might do a diagram for it too and just post it on Ribbon Candy Hooking of what I did. It's what I did is not the end all do all, right? It's not definitely not the end all do all. But my philosophy with filling out that rag tree was that less was not more. Any room at all where I could squeeze in one more piece of wool and everything was slip. It's an all slip knot tree. Any place I could squeeze more in, I did. And that was my philosophy for that because, it was better when it was fuller, you know. So that was kind of exciting. That went bonkers, and I'm probably going to order some more from her again. She's going to say, what is going on over there? But it's been extremely popular. I've also been working on, have you been keeping up with, I know a lot of you have been answering the Choose Your Own Adventure, because this is Jane Austen month at Ribbon Candy Hooking. I've hardly talked about it. We're just getting into it. I'm just getting some traction on the story. I'm putting the next part out tonight as soon as I close coffee time. And, oh, thanks, Pamela. And the Choose Your Own Adventure I'm calling Electra Entanglement. So making choices as you go along, and Jane does different things. And over the course of the story, throughout the next month, she is going to have some adventures unless you kill her off by accident. That's the thing about these Choose Your Own Adventures. I'll try to be careful not to let you do that. But she's already gotten in a few tight situations, and I'm putting out a series of patterns, and I'm putting out a swatch set early next week. in Regency colors, right? Everything, all things Jane Austen this month. It is the very British Christmas this month. That's the theme anyway. So you will see that in the next installment, there is a reference to this scene. This piece is called Jane's Wolf and Bear. So this is a nice primitive piece that is now available as of tonight on Ribbon Candy Hooking as a punch needle piece. So a small piece, sorry, mini punch piece, a small piece, I think 5 or 6 inches across. I think five actually, and then a full size, I think 22 across rug hooking pattern on any backing. You'll see this later. If when I log off, you read the next installment, you will get a reference to that pattern. And if you like it, it's there. It is up in the shop. I am doing a lot of crazy creative things I've been wanting to do for a long time in the month of December, and this is one of them. So that is there. And I also announced this past week the next Design Like an Artist class, and this month it is Mucha, Alphonse Mucha. So if you like Mucha, that is now available online. Design Like Mucha. Um, and I've gotten a lot of messages from you all, and I really appreciate it saying, oh, we've got a notification from Rug Hooking Magazine that yours is the next, speaking to me, Cyber speaking to me, that yours is the next book that's coming out with the book club, the Rug Hooking Magazine book club with Ampre Press. And I guess it is. I have not seen it yet. I've seen the cover and I've seen some teasers. Mark, the editor, has been sending me some pages and some teasers that he's using for advertising, and everything looks fantastic. I can't complain. It all looks great. So I'm really excited about that. That's coming up. If you're wondering what the big fuss is about these Design Like classes, sign up for Mucha and see. It's a lot of fun. I'm also doing I've got, I think at this moment, at least six dates on the calendar next year at Athagil's to talk about the Design Like books. And by then it will be out because it should be out very early in the new year. I don't have a date yet, but he said like January. And yeah, it'll be a lot of fun. So yeah, and Kim, I just saw you wrote, "Hello, good to see you too. Happy Thursday. So nice to see you all. Going to be a very hot day today in sunny Queensland, Australia. Oh, because it's your summer. It's the opposite, and it's your summer. I bet it is like hideously hot. But you love your outdoor stuff, right? You love being out there. So hopefully you enjoy it in part at least." Oh man, what a world. All right, let's get rid of Mucha and let's get going with Faith Webster. I am now consulting my sheets. We are officially into gallery night. Now, cocktail night, gallery night. Um, so I'm starting with this. This is when I went to do an Atha talk. Was it? I'm not sure they are in Atha. No, not in Atha Guild. The Seacoast, I think Seacoast Ruggers in York, Maine. I met Faith, and we were talking about rugs and her work, and she was describing some of her past projects to me, and I just was loving what she was doing, and I said, please send me a couple of the rugs that we were talking about, and I looked at on her phone, and she did. So I wanted to share them with you because they really are absolutely stunning. She wrote, "Hi Deanna, I finished these. I have two to show you, but this is the first one. I finished these before COVID. The designer, as far as I know, was Donna Sue Shaw, who owned Primitive Grace. Her company has since been sold to Cushing. I heard you talk at the Seacoast Ruggers, that's it, in York, Maine in October. It was great, and I promised to send these two finished pieces. Faith Webster." So I mean, I saw this on her phone, and it really blew me away because we were talking about Escher when this came up. And Escher typically it's quite like this, right? It's tessellating, it's tipping, it's doing mathematical and geometric sort of tricks with simple motifs to create patterning, right? Sometimes to create optical illusions. It depends on what era of Escher we're talking about, but often just to create patterning. And when she showed me this, I said, this is the first sort of evolution of tessellating and turning things to make a pattern, Escher style. I thought it was super pretty. I loved the motif of the hearts. It kind of, a pattern is something that repeats reliably, right? So there are lots of things that are pretty prints that we see on clothing, that we see, on quilt fabric, in rug design, and everywhere, and everywhere. But they don't always repeat, right? The design doesn't always repeat. When it does, it's a pattern. This is a pattern because you could see this repeating on all sides, right? And that is something that Escher did remarkably well. This is another one with the same kind of commentary. This is another one that Faith did that I thought was exquisite. That is not your monitor, right? That's lots of like great color being employed in the petals, right? Sort of shading gone wild. Really, really pretty. A repeat of a pattern that has a very kind of William Morris backbone, but done in wild amounts of color and contrast. It's an extraordinary piece. Um, I really, really like this piece. Another pattern, right, because it repeats reliably. And even the border is an interrupted pattern. Plaid background on first. Ooh, let me see. Gosh, let me check. Let me unlock this one and see what the background looks like. I think the photo, I was going to say, I think the photo can support it because it always has to be a high quality photo if I'm going to do this, and it is because it's still good. It's just a mix, I think, not plaid, but I see what you mean. There is, I think the fact that there's lots of blues and lots of reds give it the feel of a plaid. Very irregular heart shape, too, right? It almost has like an antler head within each heart shape. Um, Maybe that's my eyes just creating figures, but the red and the blue, the fact that it's outlined in red, very very unusual. It gives it a really. They have chickens. I have that pattern. They have chickens. Okay, wait a minute. Wait a minute, Anne. They have chickens. Are you talking about? Are there chickens on the first one or the second one that I'm missing? I. Oh my God, are these cats? Oh, I got it, Anne. Anne, I got it. I was looking at the negative. The positive is it's two cats stretching. I got it. Are there chickens on the second one? Seriously? Because now, come on. This is the first one. Do you also see cats? This is cats, right? Really, really cool. I don't know how I missed that. If I hadn't gone back to it, I would not have seen it. And if I had not blown it up, I would not have seen it. Let's look at it small again. The subtle blues of the background. Yeah. Oh, it could be. It could be plaid. I didn't immediately see it. You didn't see the cats either. And Kirsten, if you didn't see the cats, then that really is alarming. I mean, really. You are the one person I would expect to detect cats in any design. They are really beautiful, though, aren't they? Pam says, "Oh my gosh, it was cat stretching. I thought it was hearts or flowers. Me too. Crazy." And that even makes it more Asher, doesn't it? Because it's a real. Joss, is that you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Uh, hey, you didn't fall down the stairs, did you?
No.
Okay, well, she's laying at the bottom of the stairs, like on the landing, so it kind of begs the question. Really interesting. Now let's go to the second one because now I've got chickens. Chickens on the. Oh my God, they are chickens. And oh, spaghetti-o. I am really losing my mind. These are all chickens, aren't they? Cats and then chickens. I thought it was a bunny stretched out. Karen says cat hearts and cats. I don't see Kim. You see chickens now, right? With that floofy. See, I thought, oh, it's like a very, being all sophisticated. Oh, it's a very William Morris esque design. And I'm thinking, oh, I was going to go into this stupid arts and crafts thing, but it's actually chickens. I mean, it does have that arts and crafts feel, without a doubt. Um, well, you know what? This is working. It just even better than I thought it would be because I planned on showing you these and thinking of them as very pattern driven Escher-esque pieces. But I think we were most of us tricked by both of them. And had you not said the thing about the chickens, I would not be looking for any animals. It's a two for two. We have animals in both. That is so funny, unexpected. These are fantastic patterns. So, Anne, you have this one with the chickens, right? Yeah, they are too cool. And it just goes to show, this has more of a kaleidoscope feel, doesn't it? That if you were to, just putting it out there, right? Just putting it out there from a design point of view, if you were to get your piece of tracing paper and do one of these, right? And do a, chicken or whatever, and connect it on the sides and then trace it, this way, and then open it and trace it through, then you would have a ring of, chickens, like a Hawaiian quilt. That episode that we talked about Hawaiian quilts and I did a bunch of, what were they called? Oh God, it might come to me, but I can't think about it, or it won't come to me. Um, did a whole segment, maybe it was last summer, about the Hawaiian design that's done exactly this way, and it makes almost like a wreath, right? This it would be a square. It wouldn't be a rectangle, so that it makes like a perfect square. You could do this. You could do this. All you would need is a bit of tracing paper and to figure out, um, what animal you wanted to do, what kind of greenery or shapes you needed to add to get the sweep, and then the sweep would just carry itself through. You could do this. You could easily do this. Anne says, yes, maybe roosters, one of my stashed patterns. I need to dig it out. Yeah, it is an excellent pattern. It really is different. I didn't see any of that before. I mean, that is just crazy. Giving Morris a spin, still legit. It is. It definitely is. But he's copyright free because of the age. Um, so you could even integrate. You think about his famous patterns like the strawberry thief with the two little birds and the strawberry, right? If you think about it, you really could, taking it a step further, because he is copyright free, you could look at a Morris print, break it down, right? Get a piece of tracing paper, put it over a picture that you're looking at, like a Morris wallpaper, and break it down to its base where it does not repeat. So if there's a segment where there's like one bird and three halves of leaves, and that's the base, right? That's the root of the entire design. If you did that, you could swap out whatever the motif is, swap out the strawberry thief or the strawberry for like a different animal or like your dog or something. There's so many things, or a pair of sunglasses or Santa or whatever. It would be a very fun exercise. It would be a very easy exercise too. Super fun. All right. Well, that was exciting. That got things going. Um, Man, talk about an optical illusion. Whew, that went right over my head. And da 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 da. Now, this is one that you sent in that was post Halloween, but I didn't do another gallery night since. So there's no way that I'm going to squander this amazing gobble wobble rug. We have to show it. 'Tis the season, and this is so cute. I've been hearing this phrase gobble wobble lately, and I'm wondering if it's new because I never heard it when I was growing up, and I think it is so perfect for Thanksgiving. It's also perfect for tonight because for whatever reason, I not only did not go to the gym, but I ate an extraordinary amount of garbage, and now I feel like I am in pain, gobble wobble. So it's for me, it's not reserved for Thanksgiving. It's right through the year, unfortunately. But this is such a cute pattern. I love his look. I love his, I always forget, I always say his doodler, but that's probably not exactly right. That red, gross thing that hangs down from his face is so cute, flying off to the side, right? You get a real sense of motion. Tipping on the pumpkin. This was like me last night at the gym on one of those exercise balls trying to do sit ups, seriously. All of these beautiful feathers behind. I mean, it's just a gorgeous, gorgeous piece. Little Thanksgiving hat. He's funny, he's cute, he's colorful. I love the white background on this. Super clever. Really fun piece. Really fun piece. Buttons, what are you doing? Now, Buttons is chewing. What have you got? Oh, dear. And you also sent this phenomenal piece. Now, let me consult. Oh, you joining me? You joining me, babe?
Hi.
Okay, here she comes. She's joining me. And I forgot to say, designed and hooked the silly turkey in 2023, but still one of my favorites. My love of the whimsical brought him to life. He's tripping over the pumpkin vines because either a he's either a klutz, um, or had too much Thanksgiving cheer. Hugs. Yeah. I think maybe a little bit of both. He is super, super cute. And then I'm going to show this one again, but I want to say what it's about before we see it. Recently finished this design, pulled high heels off of clip art and revamped them, pun intended. Added the checkered border for additional whimsy. I usually don't include text in my pieces, but thought this one needed it. Fun to hook to use so many colors. So now let's look at it. Now that we know what we're looking for, this is amazing. So, Anne, this is your design. I know you like silly stuff because you are super silly. You are also gorgeous and sophisticated. So you have that great blend that, yeah, that ideal blend. I love this. I love the checkered border. It's very chic. It has that kind of fashiony Parisian type look. It has that also kind of like a paper doll quality to it. Lots of colorful. It's a multiples design, right? Lots of color, lots of shapes. It is all the same motif, but because of the variation, it gives us a lot to look at. Everything that cute, Ryan, aren't they? Everything about it is really appealing. Your colors are excellent too. Really, really pop art palette. It really is like a universal rug, though, isn't it? This you could see this on somebody's floor 20 years ago, 20 years from now, or much, much further beyond. But it really is beautiful. There are some high heels in this composition. Gosh, just looking at them makes me dizzy. So, so, so cute.
Hey,
And Kim
Mom.
says, hold on, I'm on camera right now, Joss. Are you going to ask me for Cheerios or something while I'm
Oh
sitting
no,
here
I'm
doing a show?
wondering, does the treadmill still work?
Does the treadmill still work? That's about as relevant. I think it's in the garage in several pieces, so I'm going to go ahead and say I don't think so.
I thought we
But you know
changed
it does
it.
work? Like walking. Walking still works. Just saying.
I know.
All right.
Dad, what'd you say?
Josh, no. If you're I'm down here doing a show. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? This is why I'm usually at the studio. She's laying on the couch, right? Lady Godiva over there, shouting to people who are on other floors. Oh dear. Kim says, I love this. As a French teacher for 26 years, I consider gorgeous shoes as part of my job description. Oh, that is so funny. I was putting not my face, but the shoes. And Karen says, I'm picking out my favorite heels. Very fun, isn't it? I think the orange one is my favorite. That's the one I would get anyway because it's so different. Although the red one looks very versatile. And the yellow and black one too would be so cute with like just a pair of jeans and a black sweater like in the summer. Wouldn't that be cute? The light blue is what I mean, they're all very pretty. Light blue heels, you never see those outside of bridal parties, do you? And they really are so cute. Kick up your heels. And this is fantastic. It's a great conversation starter too. It's really, really, really fun, really colorful, really successful. You did a great job. Pam says, I love the yellow shoe with the black polka dots and the bow. Yeah, that is a good shoe. It's got a good sturdy heel on it too. I wouldn't feel too nervous about wearing that particular shoe. The purple one, I'm not sure. There could really be something epic for TikTok. But yeah, these are all beautiful. What a lot of fun. You did a really good job. I love it. I love it, love it. Super fun. All right. Sorry, Joss. I'll talk to you more about the treadmill when I'm not live, okay, babe?
Okay.
Ryan, you sent some interesting stuff too. Now, I you sent this before, and either I missed it or I haven't had a coffee time in between. So sorry to keep you waiting. But Ryan sent this amazing rug and said, I wanted to share this vintage hooked rug I discovered at my great aunt's house. Design and maker unknown. It appears to be hooked with yarn. I thought you'd all enjoy seeing it. So let's look at this for a second and let's think about this. So I have to say I didn't have much time today at all, but I did go on a miniature wild goose chase. This looks to me just looking at it and never having seen it before. This looks to me like the kind of rug that would have been commercially made when rugs were very popularly made in like the 80s and 90s. And they would typically have that what looks like a monk's cloth back or a netted back, right? Um, Made by hand or by someone operating a machine by hand somewhere. Now, the thing about these, if indeed that's what it is, I'd have to see the back to know for sure, but that's my suspicion. I have two thoughts on this. That's thought number one. And these rugs that are commercially made are still and can be still very collectible because, for example, this is not one that we see all the time. And some of the famous designers of rugs from this period that are commercially made, like Claire Murray, um, they are super. Some of them are not super rare, right? And they're not really collectible. They are designs we see very often, and their market values may be something like 80 to 150, right, for the common ones. But there are some for example, of Claire Murray's that are quite rare that you would expect to pay like more like $800 for, even though it's commercially made because they are super, super, super rare. You just don't see them. You can't find them. And when you do see them, if you can't acquire it, like in an auction, it might be a decade, like honestly, before you see it again. Some of them are very, very rare. Now, there are a lot of designers from the 80s and 90s who I have never heard of. And there have been many episodes of Coffee Time and Cocktail Time where I show you things that I found in antique stores that fit this category. I typically don't buy commercial rugs, but once in a while I find one and I go, oh, it's got me right in the heart. I got to have that. And one of them is hanging on the wall of my studio. I've showed it to you a couple times in um, Coffee Time. Sorry. Whew, spacing out. I'm in a different place, and there's all kinds of stuff that doesn't belong there, that kind of thing. But the commercial rugs, it really depends on two things. Even when I try to research some of the commercial rugs, I find it can't be done. Even when the tag is attached to it, I usually cannot find anything about the maker other than what's on the tag. And that makes me crazy because even when you have like the street address of where that rug I was telling you about that is on my wall in the studio, I have the street address for it from New Hampshire. And I can Google that combo of the name and the address in a million different ways and nothing comes up ever. I've tried, I try periodically, nothing comes up. So commercial rugs can be very, very rare. They can be collectible. And at the end of the day, anything that is finite, that it's like good luck trying to find another one, anything that fits that category um, is very hard to price. Commercial rugs, I would never price too high without a very well-known name on them. But in an auction and I know you're not looking to price it, Ryan, because it's your great aunt's rug, but I think we tend to dismiss commercial rugs that are not super old as if they don't have a ton of value. But I'm saying to the contrary, they can have a ton of value because sometimes they go so high on eBay that I think, oh, I'd rather like to have that just to have that. And it is obviously a commercial rug and it goes so high that I'm like, I'm out. And you also see it online auctions and live auctioneer auctions, right? That's like an umbrella house with lots of hundreds, if not thousands, of small auctions within it. You occasionally see a commercially made rug on Christie's or Sotheby's, and they often go for a lot, and it's just a supply and demand thing. So on the example, no, I haven't, Karen. That's a really good idea. I'm this much of a dinosaur. My idea was to drive to New Hampshire and like do two things: visit Anne and check the street address. And have a bunch of friends in New Hampshire, of course. But yeah, interesting. I could do that, couldn't I? I don't. I want to know about the designer, and I will never remember the name because it's on the tag. But I wanted to know more about the designer because I wanted to find more of the designer's work. And it was a company name, not like a human name. So that's what really got me because I wanted to try to collect more rugs from the designer. So interesting, Ryan. This got me going. Because it is a cute rug. I'm sure it's not a one of a kind. I'd be shocked if it was a one of a kind. But I've never seen it before, and not only that, when I opened it and started thinking about it, I just couldn't find it. I mean, I searched and a huge number of tag words that you would think would have made sense here. Couldn't find it. I mean, I was looking for the whole time I was eating. I was looking, and I just told you how much I ate tonight, so it was quite a while. The whole time I was stuffing my face, I was looking, and I couldn't find any trace of it. So I'd be real curious to learn more about this or find out who the maker was. My second idea on this rug, not that you're asking, it's just it made me curious too. My second idea on this rug, and Jess, if Buttons the dog keeps barking, can you put his jacket on and put him outside? Because he's going to make everybody crazy. No, we're not going to lock him up. Poor old Buttons. My other idea with this, Joss, I'm doing a live show. I'm doing a live show. You're going to go into your bedroom. That's the next creature who's going into a bedroom. Okay. Love you. My other idea with this was that it was one of the famous brands of the middle to late 20th century. It could be a slightly earlier rug. It could be, for example, a 1960s, 70s rugs. Colors don't really gel with that. but it could be, for example, like a shill craft or I was going to say Aunt Lydia. I don't. I think it's a little bit too. I think it's a little bit later than that. But you know what I mean. There are so many. There are so many. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. Now somebody's phone is ringing. Just go. Just go upstairs until I'm done the show. I mean, there's two Santas watching, and it's not making any difference to the behavior in this house tonight. Um, Barbara says, "Stop it! Did you? You are brilliant. Pop sugar. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing, Barbara, because I'm a terrible copycat. Oh, I'm feeling so depressed. I just pulled up this picture on the thing with my hair still green, and I actually like it better than I like it now. It's so boring again. Anyway, that's not what we're doing. That's not what we're doing. I'm making one bad decision after another. Let me do the same thing. Hold on one second. You are brilliant. I'm going to do the same thing. Let's see. And I want to see what you found. I use my Google Lens a lot. Didn't even think of using it for this. But I'm still not finding it. Oh well. I know you're right. I know you found it. I just wanted to do the magic too. No. So what does it say, Barbara? Does it say yeah, I'm still not finding it. Does it say Pop Sugar is like a new company, or does it say anything about it? Or is that the website that is somebody called Pop Sugar selling it maybe? Because it doesn't seem like it's not new, right? It's definitely not new. Interesting. Judy says, I was just trying Google Lens. Barbara, you beat me to it. You all are so smart. Gosh, I was sitting there just searching like a ding dong. Ryan says, great idea, Barbara. I knew it would intrigue. It definitely did. It definitely did. It is intriguing. It really is. Because Ryan, did you turn it over? Did you get a feel for like whether it has any kind of mesh on the back of it? Not that it matters. It doesn't matter. It would just give a clue because it does also look like the kind of rug that might have come in a kit for someone to complete. And if that's the case, of course, it wouldn't have that mesh on the back and it would be completely handmade, but still a commercial pattern. I feel like it's commercially made, but I'm just not sure. It is intriguing. I would love to learn more about it. And I got to find out who this Pop Sugar is to boot. All right, let's see. Let's get back to the program because Ryan, you also sent wait a minute, not that one. Not that one. Hang on. It's going to be the next one. You also sent the piece that you were working on. So still, Ryan, let's see what you said about this. Oh, you said this is my latest rug that I finished this morning. It wasn't today, though. This was a little ways back. It's called Funny Flower, 12 by 12, hand-dyed wool yarn and wool strips on monk's cloth. And I have to say, I want to pause on this because I want to dive into this. Pam just asked, do you think it's hooked or punched? Hang a minute on Funny Flower. I want to come right back. I'm going to say I think it's punched. And I'm going to unlock it. Let's look at one of the closer up ones. Let's look at the closest one. And let me unlock it on my screen. Hold on. Oops. And let me see how big I can make it. Ryan, you send good big photos, so we should make it pretty big. Let's see what more info we can get. It looks like yarn to me, and you all can chime in, right? I am not the end-all do-all. It looks like yarn to me. You know, I have to say, at least judging from this photo, if we are looking at a photo, it has a much higher luster than I would expect. Like it's shinier than I would expect. Interesting. It was a Bed Bath & Beyond product. There we go. Okay. Okay. So that makes sense. It has a fabric thing. Okay. So that makes sense. Thin. Yep. So Bed Bath & Beyond or any store that made rugs, they can still be quite collectible. Uh-oh, wait a minute. Let me move my drink.
Uh-oh.
There he is. There's my boy. What are you excited for, Ted? What are you most excited for?
Conquered.
Right?
It's literally tomorrow. And what time is it? Like, it's 7. We only have a couple more hours.
Well, you should probably sleep somewhere in there, right? You're excited, huh?
No sleeping for me tonight.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
he's
be
so
up.
excited.
I'm gonna be up all freaking night.
That's watch your mouth. Watch your mouth. That was right on the edge. You're not gonna serve yourself well if you are up all night because then we're gonna get to Concord and you're gonna need to fall asleep
I
and
know.
you're gonna miss it.
I know.
You're joking. It was a figure of speech.
Yeah.
He's such a sweet boy. Does he ever love going to Concord?
I do.
What do you like better, Concord or going to Cape Cod?
Ca-
It's impossible
Honestly,
to choose.
Cape Cod all the way, but like Concord's still amazing.
He's my
Because
boy.
like honestly, I think Cape Cod is better than Christmas for me. Just
Cape Cod is
because,
better than anything, yeah.
uh,
But yeah, I get that. What a sweetie. Oh, thanks, Kathy. I'm not. I just want. I'm not gonna. We're gonna stick with the. But I made it that weird color because I thought it would be navy, and I wanted something really cool and different. And then it was. I felt like it looked so green that I looked like I was sick. Like not that your hair turns green when you're sick, but you know what? I just felt like I looked sick, and then I had to choose a dark color to put over it. I literally just did it a minute ago. It's a big patchwork. I mean, it's a terrible. My sister's gonna be so upset when she sees this because she did such a beautiful job on my hair, and I just wanted to put a little color in it, and now it's almost like it's black again. A little bit disappointing. Ah, man. Barbara says Cape Cod all the way. That's right. It's hard to beat Cape Cod. So Bed Bath and Beyond, that's not necessarily a bad thing. It's not a new rug. It's a really pretty rug. Designers who worked for stores had great gigs, right? Really had great gigs. They were getting paid to design rugs and textiles and things for these large stores that have lots of locations. They were getting paid well. The rugs are still finite and they're often very collectible. So interesting. Good to solve a mystery, and it's good to know where it's from. And even though it's like a store that we know and it's not a one of a kind, it doesn't mean that that's bad. It's a really cool rug, and there's not tons of them out there, and I've certainly never seen one. So it's a very good find, and it gave us a lot of great conversation. Kathy, you logged on. I was hoping you would because I have some of your stuff in there. And thank you so much. I fixed that blemish. Bed Bath and Beyond could have knocked off a vintage pattern. They could have. I don't know a lot about this, but I do know people over the years who have worked for different stores, not necessarily Bed Bath and Beyond, but like Bed Bath and Beyond. And there is a history of like hiring, not particularly the store, but the manufacturer hiring specific designers or artists to do a certain line, like Mackenzie Child, right? Two people, but the brand. There is the history of that, and then there being really tight deals between manufacturers and specific chain stores. So this is a part of the sort of history of shopping. Um, very, very buttoned up, right? It's a really buttoned up deal. Designers, graphics, manufacturers, and which stores get them. So, for example, with something like this, I would be really surprised if any store other than Bed Bath and Beyond had that particular pattern. And maybe there's another. I'm trying to think of another one that might be like Bed Bath and Beyond. Um, this is not my area of knowledge at all. But there are other stores that handle like housewares and bed stuff and bathroom stuff and all that. And probably they have their own corral of manufacturers, and they're getting designs from the people who those manufacturers choose. It will be so interesting years from now. I would love to see, just for curiosity, it would be if I wasn't busy or I had a second parallel life, not just a second personality in my head, just kidding, but like an actual second life with all of that extra time. It would be so neat to just find as many images of rugs as possible, and um, try to do some kind of a tree of working backward, what the store was, who manufactured the rug, and who the designer was, because a lot of those designers cross over from textiles, rug design, shower curtain design, bedding, textile design in general, right, for house, crossed over to other crafts and other things like ornaments, prints, clothing, clothing print design. There's so much to be said for that. It is a fairly tight knit community of people who did that. and who still do that kind of designing. But it's an interesting conversation because, as I say, and I'm going to wind it up, but we do tend to overlook commercial rugs. And commercial rugs are simply rugs that have probably been made by hand in another country, and at least right now, right? And, there are great designers who are behind those rugs, but just like ghostwriters or just like old time sort of newspaper writers or magazine writers, the the artist is not getting the credit for the design because they are being paid by the manufacturer. And it's how it used to work with, writing, you know, for a magazine or whatever, or a book. You just write, and you're one of a stable of writers, and they pay you by the hour. You're very happy to have the money, or you illustrate, and your name never comes up or is attached to the work that you did because you're being paid by the man, not being paid for your uniqueness, but you're getting a regular paycheck. And to a lot of artistic people, that really is ideal, and who cares? So, same thing with rugs and the people who have historically designed rugs. This is something we should look at more. You know, over the holidays, I'm sure I'll be doing a lot of fooling around. This weekend, I'll be in Concord. If I see any commercial rugs, I'm going to pay extra attention to them because normally I walk right by them. And now I'm getting curious about who did what and which is which, right? Because that could be a book for the future. Like great designers of commercially made rugs, and from the 20th century. That would be a whole book in and of itself. I'm stopping. I think this is really interesting, Ryan. You got me going. You really got me. It's going to be a sleeping pill night. Sharon says, there is a Persian rug store a few blocks from me. I was almost talked into a hand knotted Afghan rug. It was gorgeous. They are gorgeous. They are gorgeous. I could see how it would be easy to be talked into something like that. I wish I knew more about knotted rugs, loomed rugs, all of that stuff, um, because that whole language of Oriental rugs and Afghan rugs, and all the respective places where they might come from, they are so different, and it's like there's a different set of language, and words and motifs for every single one, originating from all of these different countries. Um, that's interesting too. And I have bought books at like secondhand bookstores on Oriental rugs and I just haven't even looked at them yet. Put them right on the bookshelf. But in the future, it would be interesting also to know about those motifs, to be able to identify the rugs, and to be able to make a call yourself when you're in a store or at a flea market or a yard sale, to be able to make a call. What are the basic things you need to know whether that rug really is hand knotted and whether it has value, right? Because that's what you want to know if someone's, doing the high pressure sales, whatever, the thumb screws while you're in the store. Judy says some really famous knitwear designers create exclusive patterns for the big department stores. They are often all handmade by local knitters. Pretty cool, actually. Exactly, Judy. Exactly. In fact, some of the sweaters I've been wearing, and some that will emerge when the weather's better, is some of the designers like Kitty Hawk, like some of the brands from the 80s. Um, there's a few that I mean, some of them are still there, like Talbots that did the pretty mohairs and the prints. But you're absolutely right. There were some makers of knitwear, and man, some of those sweaters on eBay. A Christmas sweater with super tasteful with like the New York City skyline, maybe a little bit of holly, $400, $600, right? Because of scarcity. Again, it's a textile that's scarce, it's vintage, hasn't been made for years. Other people are looking for it. They have the language for it because they know who the designer is. It's the same thing with us in the rug world. And it's even though the rug world is smaller than the fashion world, particularly the hooked rug world, even so, it's interesting to think about like the stupid rug I have hanging on the wall in my studio. If I can figure out who that designer is and if they ever did any other rugs, I would go out of my mind to find them and purchase them. This was not an expensive rug, right? Because it's acrylic. It smells like poo poo, but there was no way I wasn't going to buy it anyway. It's huge. It has a lot of loss. It has the mesh backing, so I need to take that out to even start repairs on it if I will bother. But to me, the image like hits me in the heart. Love it. Can't live without it. Want more of it. People feel like this about their rugs, their clothes, their everything. And once you latch on to a designer's name, it's like, whew, hope nobody else has heard of this person because this is my person now. and then you run with it, and it's fun to go on those crazy quests. Cave Facet absolutely comes to mind. Absolutely. And all his knitting books and all, his knitting books, his needlepoint books, all of the great textile stuff that he's done is over the top amazing. There are some other knit designers. I'll never be able to think of them, but going down those eBay rabbit holes, some of the sweaters and cardigans and things that you see that particularly like for holidays, I guess sweaters and holidays, right? Cold months are just exquisite. They're great inspiration, but they are absolutely exquisite and uber collectible, right? They are like, it's not TJ Maxx stuff. It's really high end stuff. Cat's Gallery. I'm way at the beginning. I didn't pay attention to my notifications. Oh no! You'll catch up with you'll be able to fast forward this whole crazy conversation. And Karen says, I can recommend a very comprehensive book on Oriental rugs and what each image from what. Oh, Karen, if you can, that would be fantastic. I would love to see if I don't have that, the one that you're going to recommend, then I would like to get it. I could use a comprehensive one. Ryan, let's come back to your rug. That was me. Claire Murray did sweaters too. Okay, I'm almost ready to stop. I don't have any of her sweaters, but I have one of her jackets, and it's super cute. It's like tapestry material. It's tapestry, so it's heavy, and it's like a little picket fence on the bottom, and like some of her hollyhocks and stuff. Like growing flowery plant. Oh, God, is it cute? And the water in the distance. I was supposed to meet her a long time ago, and she suggested some dates that I couldn't do. Then I suggested some dates, and she was traveling, and then she suggested another date, and I was like, I was traveling, and then I suggested another date, and she was traveling again for like 6 months. So I need to come back to the center because I would really love to get together with her. She's fantastic. And the liaison who was helping us communicate, she ended up calling on the phone because he's not there anymore, which didn't help at all because then my messages went nowhere for a while. But then she called. We'll figure it out. But the reason I got that jacket was because I wanted to wear it when I meet her so that she knows how much I love her and admire her astonishing work. Because her clothing stuff was also amazing. I could really use a cardigan besides the tapestry jacket. Ryan, you see what you did? Now we're in trouble. Now you did it. That was like the whole first hour was talking. That got us going. But man, it's fun brainstorming stuff like that. But I do not want to skip over this gem. This is an absolute beauty, funny flower. Now, I don't know you, Ryan, to do a lot with wool strips, but here you are doing some stuff with wool strips. I know you love your yarn and your dyeing, and man, you killed it with this. You are you are doing two things in all of your work, right? That I absolutely love. And I'm not talking about the poppy design and you just the cheerfulness of your work and your motifs that always is there. I mean, you are always doing something that has like great sort of commercial pop art appeal, but you're doing it in a way that is like a 50-50 blend between pop art and rug hooking. You've always got great mottled colors going. You've always got unusual colors going. You never go with colors that I would expect, but you never go with the same palette either. So you're just like, you're a hard one to pin down. You are a slippery little monkey. This one is really good example of that because we're seeing kind of an emoji face, like a happy face in the center, which I love. But then you've got the series of petals going around, and the hooked part of this, I think, is the center of each. Oh, Karen, thank you so much. Is the center of each going right down the middle of each petal. That's the hooked strip part. And I think the rest of it is yarn. But you adding like a little stripey in the center of each petal is really making the design even cooler. And at least on your green and on your purple petals, you are using three colors in each petal. That did not go unnoticed. Very, very smart. And so you've got a bit of a pop art motif happening in the foreground, but then in the background, you go to this stepped green motif, kind of like an Incan star, and then the creamy white color. But the green color in the background is not solid. It's mottled and soft and beautiful. It's really different. It's just what rug hookers do, isn't it? It's really mottled. So while you've got your pop art motifs going, you do a lot with and I'm guessing you dyed that wool, the mottled wool. So you've got like two worlds colliding, and your work is always interesting. It's really accessible right? It's very relatable. It's really super charming. Very good, sort of popular. I can't design like this. You keep designing things that I think would be super trendy and awesome designs. You do a great job and you're killing it. I love everything. I love everything that you sent. Really, really good. Sandy Fox. Oh, this is a fun piece. Wool strips were from the Halloween grab bag. Were they, Ryan? Oh, that is great. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad because when you get stuff like that from me, you always use it. I think that's amazing because you're not a hoarder with stuff. You buy something and then you use it right away and you make it work for you. I think that's great. I love to see how stuff that I put out is used too. I loved those Halloween grab bags. I thought that was super super fun. I'm glad that you did that. I'm glad that you got that. Sandy, this is such a great piece. You wrote, I ordered, so Sandy ordered some of the Halloween stuff too. That's what her message is about. She said, I ordered number 14 and 17. I remember that. The mix of pantyhose and strips. So in Halloween, remember I had a few bags that were mixed, maybe like 7 or 8 colors of wool strips and then some pantyhose material, which I no longer have because now Hanes isn't doing that. So that was like, at least for the moment, that was the last big pop of the pantyhose. Sandy says, I used mostly the number 14 bag and I've never hooked with strips, so I wanted to give it a go. I really enjoyed it. Not as good as hooking with yarn on the back, but the strips I did really good. Now, you know what? It doesn't matter what it looks like on the back. As long as the front is just the way that you want it, nobody's ever going to. If anybody goes to turn it over, flip it over, and check out the back, just slap their hand like really hard. And they'll never do that again, I promise. But you say, I really enjoyed it. Um, so very pleased. My pattern is from Patty Vidalia Design on Etsy. Did not want to spend time on the design. I just wanted to focus on the hooking. So here is my piece, 14 1/4 inch by 11 3/4 inch. Thank you, Deanna. Well, thank you, Sandy. This is a beautiful piece. You did absolutely gorgeous work here. Ryan says, love the vibrant color and the fish and the border. I also love those things. I love the softness of the white in the background. That is really, really pretty. The strips look amazing. I'm recognizing these colors now. The strips look amazing. This is really, really well done. I love the black outlining too. I love how it comes and goes. It's not like super, super thick and heavy. It really is fantastic. It's a beautiful piece. I love that the water is white and frothy with little blue lines interrupting. That is really a good piece. I unexpected. I can hear that. I can hear that. Can you turn that off? Sorry, micromanaging down here. Um, yeah, I love unexpected colors, right? Not blue water, but white water. Not like blue fish faces, but like green fish faces. Really odd and fun, right, Barbara? Really fun. It's just a great piece. Really, and then the blackboard. I mean, it really is such a strong design piece. It's really, really good. Really good. Nice job, Sandy. It really is. It's a home run. Love this subject too. It reminds me, I'm a Pisces, so that strikes me right away as being a great design. Now, let's see. Oh. Kathleen Pastore, so many beautiful pieces. Um, Whenever Kathleen posts in our Facebook group, which is called Rug Hooking and Punch Needle Club, I always pay attention because it's always something really good. Kathleen is just a great, real specific love of primitive designs and a special talent for making primitive designs really look historic and rich and dark and moody. Kathleen, this is just like your gift, right? So this was one from around Thanksgiving. This piece was called, hang on a second, this was called Tom and Tilly Turkey. Really, really pretty. I love the flowers, the simple flowers, the pair of turkeys. I think this was, I'm not seeing my text on it. I'm trying not to panic, but I don't see my text on it. However, I think this was, oh, um, Etsy, something butter Butterfield, something like, could it be Mauve or Mavis Butterfield, something like that. Does anybody recognize that? I thought I had it written down, and unfortunately I don't. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. But I feel like that was the name because I know that name from looking at Etsy. Um, yeah, I think so. Sorry. The colors are super soft and beautiful and perfect primitive colors. Great autumn holiday. It's just beautiful. It is all of those beautiful rich colors, right? The blues, the slates, the grays, the bronzy olive green, the barn red, right? All of the colors, that pewter color, all of the colors that you want to see in that late autumn, right? Absolutely beautiful. And this is the other piece that Kathleen was working on. The stockings were hung. I'm so upset with. Oh, okay. This one is the stockings were hung. This pattern is by Woolen Memories. So I caught that one. But really pretty. This was when Kathleen was working on the stockings were hung. It's great to see the beginning of a piece, right? The start of the piece. Because then you know later on, right? If you just wait a little while, she hooks so fast, Kathleen. The stockings were hung is complete. It's just another beautiful primitive piece. Such a simple design, just a little bit of text, a phrase that we all recognize from Christmas. Joss, you going to read us a poem later?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Can I
Joss,
ask you a question?
you could ask me a question.
So I'm playing this game.
Is this about the poem or about my show?
It's about a game that I need help deciding to do stuff.
Okay, you have to ask Papa because I'm running a live show.
Oh. Okay.
See, okay, give it to me. Give it to me.
Okay. So I need.
When
help
I'm
deciding.
accessible.
These are all the dots I've rescued, and this one I don't really want to.
I wish you could see this. It's crazy. Yes.
But so there's a bunch. This is my peridot, named Peridot, and here's this rescued dot, and I can breed these two together.
Okay, I'm in too deep. I'm in too deep.
So I can breed these two together. Here's all the traits. I really think I might choose this one.
Okay.
But I also really like this one. Look at the beautiful tail.
Wow.
And
this is a huge decision. I can't make this while I'm live.
Like,
she's breeding. She's breeding. Is this Pokemon?
No, dots.
It actually was beautiful. I might look at that later and be inspired, if you know what I mean.
Oh yeah.
Right? There were some good designs that you just flashed in front of my face. All right, let me get back to my page here. You have to ask Papa those questions. Those are very heavy questions. So the stockings were hung. You know, the thing about using a little bit of text is particularly when it's something that we all recognize. It's so meaningful, isn't it? The stockings were hung, and obviously that poem is also The Night Before Christmas, out of copyright because of its age. You know, remember that it's not just the visual arts that are out of copyright after X amount of years go by. Um, Poetry and writing also falls out of copyright. For example, we just concluded the Robert Frost class, and Robert Frost's poems before 1928, just like art, are copyright free. So, you know, you're able to use lines from them. And just bear that in mind when you're looking at poetry or you're reading your favorite books, your favorite authors and stuff. Just remember, if you stumble upon a line that is particularly meaningful, seasonal or not, if it's before 1928, you know, you might be looking at something that you could incorporate into one of your designs. And that really is fun and something to think about. It is a great background, Barbara. You know, it's very mellow, but there's lots of colors there. It is really extraordinary. I love the stripies on the sock, too. And I love how chilled out the lamb's tongues are. You know, it has like, there's some cookie colors in here. Very, very soft Christmas colors, but also very earthy. The primitive palette kind of, the backbone of it is that it's earthy colors, right? So even when you get into Christmas, it still looks even extra primitive if you hold on to some of those browns and don't go full blast red and green. That's what keeps it looking primitive. So this background, super spicy, right? Looks like a bunch of the spices out of the cupboard fell. It's just absolutely beautiful. Really different. I love that piece. Oh, Barbara, speaking of pieces I love, oh God, my heart jumped when I opened this up. So, Barbara, you wrote, I can't seem to get myself organized enough to watch Gallery Night live, but you are tonight, but haven't given up. There you go. This piece is called Hebridean Life. It was hooked with permission like the Hebrides, right? Like the Hebrides. It was hooked with permission from Scottish artist Jane Harlington of the Isle of Lewis in Scotland. Lewis is one of the islands of the Outer Hebrides, hence the name Hebridean life. Sorry. Many are more familiar with of Harris Tweed fame. Oh, that's interesting. That's good context. Um, Barbara said, I purchased one of Jane's lino print cards on holiday in Ullapool while watching the ferries head out to the islands. Oh, God, that is so good. What a moment. The card was purchased for inspiration, but after many attempts, nothing pleased me as much as Jane's work. I contacted her for permission, and she was, in her words, well chuffed. Now, okay, so before I read the rest of it, I just have to look at this and pause because I'm thinking about you sitting there watching the fairies and looking at the cards and considering designs and designing like her, and then coming to that place of, you know what, nothing is better than the work she does herself. Let me see if I can get permission. This is a great story because it reminds us that we can all do this route. Right? When you are super in love with an artist's work, particularly a living artist, right, that makes it a little bit easier. Artists are usually well chuffed indeed and super flattered when other artists and other mediums want to sort of translate their work. And I mean, Barbara, I can't imagine that anything could ever be better than this. You have got in all the sort of little cross hatching lines that we see in woodcuts, right? All of those little lines that get carved out. This is absolutely insane. This is so good. I love, there's a little dark cluster in the sky that is the negative of the little blue cluster, the black with the little bird shapes, and then the negative of it, the blue with the little dark shapes. So much detail. Um, and I'm looking, this is a great photograph, Barbara, because you're showing us you had to buy a blade. Oh, okay. Um, you had to buy a blade. Wait a minute. I had to buy a blade. Um, did you make this larger and that, or you just drew it from the design, right? Um, yeah. I mean, this is just the lines are incredible, and what I love is that on the bottom I can see the kinds of lines that you're using to create this effect. I'm going to show the next picture in a second so you all can see that you also have your visual aid in front of you, and that must be in place because there is a lot of sort of cross-hatching of lines. And there is a lot more detail than you've drawn onto, and your drawing is beautiful, by the way. That's just the right amount of information. So while you're sitting there working on it, you are looking over at you're looking at your reference, right, on your frame. And then is that the same picture in the distance? It has is that little post-it notes you have on it in the distance, Barbara? Barbara, I didn't realize how large this was. This is unbelievable. Like, this is unbelievable. Barbara said, had to buy blade. I'm trying to get that, had to buy a blade. I'm trying to think about what kind of a blade. It's probably really obvious and I'm just missing it. You're probably frantically typing to me to fill me in so that the light dawns on the marble skull here. But I can see that you would need to constantly refer to it because there are going to be quite a bit of information. Oh, for the cutter. Oh, I see, for the cutter. Of course. Jesus, Ann, thank you. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, for the cutter. Oh my God. I was thinking about like the blade for cutting the wood block. God, what's wrong with me? Have another glue gwine, Mama. For number 2 strip, Pam asks. This is just beautiful. Let me finish reading what she wrote at the bottom. Hang on. The piece measures 20 by 18. Okay, now wait till you see this finished. Are you ready? She's describing the way that it's mounted. So drink this in, right? Barbara, I also love the colors. I know you're sticking with the colors in the print, but I feel like I'm looking at the print and I'm looking at your colors. I like your colors even more. They are even a little bit more sort of a hair more bleached. And I like that. I like that a lot. It has such a great sort of book platey, antique. Oh, it's amazing. It's amazing. And you're finished. And this is the description of the way that this is framed. Barbara said the picture shows the value changes the colors where the Oh, okay. Let's look at that while you're describing it. Where the post-its are, it changes value. So you have a cool way of working. You have the picture right down with you, so you can constantly consult. But then over on the mantle, you have post-it notes that show you where the changes in value, I'm sorry, changes, value changes to the colors occur. So that makes a lot of sense. Just to give you a ballpark, right? Because it doesn't have to be down to the loop. It could be just a bulb. Oh, Helene, great to see you. It could just be, this corner under the fence, right? There's going to be a change. Brace yourself. There's going to be a change in this corner under the fence. It really is amazing, isn't it, Anne? It's really amazing. Now, the finished piece looks like this. I mean, this is over the top, Barbara. This is insane. And you wrote, this piece measures 20 by 18 and is mounted on a custom frame of barn wood and rusty recycled corrugated metal hooked in number 2 through number 6 cuts. Due to the amount of detail, I didn't transfer all of that detail to linen, just larger lines and images, then used the photo to capture the rest. So again, we saw in one of the early, Sonia, great to see you. We saw in one of the earlier photos that there weren't a lot of lines. So you were just getting in your main shapes, right? Your main being, especially important shapes, right? Get those established and then refer to the actual print for the rest of the information. That makes perfect sense. Larger lines and images. Just use the photo capture. In the photo, the post-it showed me. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't get that far. Showed you. Yep, you're good. Where the color changes transitioned. Back to hooking and exploring your video archives. Thanks for those. Oh, Barbara, you are so welcome. Now, this is just so beautiful, too. This is a brilliant idea. I know you're probably looking at this and saying, I don't have a good feel for what is that? How did she get that? How did she do that? And I'm going to show you the rest of it, right? So this is what she used, right? So this is the corrugated metal and it's got the frame around it. Now, come on, this is brilliant. So look at the way the rustiness of this and look at the way the colors change on the rust. When you see, this isn't garbage, like this is salvage, right? But you do see stuff on the side of the road. You do see stuff that's left outside at antique stores that never goes inside. It just lives on someone, on the porch of the shop or something. You often see stuff for a bargain that is really beautiful. And it's so easy to walk by it, even when it is beautiful, and say, well, this has nothing to do with hooking. I can't use it for hooking. Well, guess what? You can use a lot of stuff for hooking. You just have to think about how. This is brilliant. And I have to say, Barbara, what I love most, the piece is what I love the most. And I love the metal. But beyond that, I think it is brilliant that you used that kind of raw, natural wood frame on the metal. Because I think it would have really taken away from the feeling of this having this wood cut, wood block feeling to it. I think it would have taken away from that feel if you put some kind of a rustic barnwood frame with a heavy dark patina onto this metal that already has a beautiful patina, right? I'm really happy that the frame is nothing like the rusted metal. Because if they were too close together, they wouldn't be doing each other any favors, right? This is perfect, perfect complement. I would never have thought to do this either. Not putting it on this backing, not putting this color frame on. I wouldn't have thought to do it. This is incredibly stellar. Absolutely beautiful. Barbara says, I don't think I could have hooked this piece if I wasn't familiar with the area. Metal is from an old chicken coop. Oh, yeah, maybe, maybe. But that's also good info. I bet you could because it's in you. I mean, you have such innate talent. It's crazy. But the metal is from an old chicken coop. So that's good information too because a lot of people might have access to stuff like this and say, oh, I would love to mount one of my pieces on something like this. This makes great sense, right? This makes perfect sense. And Barbara says, try to tie in the honey color of the wood and the wool. Well, you definitely did it. You definitely did it. And it the wood around the edge, it looks like newer wool, right? It's not like the barnwood is such a big thing right now. And I also love barnwood. But, barnwood looks great with rugs. But barnwood with another old salvagey thing like rusted metal, I think they wouldn't do anything together, right? You've got like the old and the new. It's like something borrowed, something blue, you've got it all going on here. This is just absolutely fantastic. You should be so proud of yourself. This is an incredible piece. All right. I love it. I love it. Kathy, you sent pieces that I also love. You sent some lovely festive pieces. Let me wet my whistle really quickly because this glue wine ain't gonna drink itself, is it? Oh, Barbara, that frame was older wood. It was just sanded so it looks nice and fresh. I love that it's plain. You know, I love that it's not like chalk painted or paint. Not that I have anything against chalk paint, but I just love that it's plain. It really stands out. Beyond matching, which I know is what you were going for, beyond matching, it just looks different, right? It complements the metal because it's so different from the metal, right? Beautiful, soft, bare wood, light, beautiful, dark, rusty, layered in rust and patina metal, like complete polar opposites. Just beautiful. I know you can't tell because I've got my dark hair out, but I've also put on my Cheers earrings for you tonight, just to remind you that it's gallery night in cocktail night because it isn't our usual night. I want it to be as celebratory as we can be. Kathy, you sent, speaking of celebratory, you sent some beautiful festive pieces that I absolutely love. Kathy, you are also amazingly great. Wait a minute, wait a minute. Oh boy, I'm not making good progress, am I? Kathy, you are also amazingly great with primitive stuff. I mean, this is like one of your great fortes. You wrote, getting ready for Christmas. Santa is decked. Oh, wait a minute. This isn't the one yet. This isn't the one yet. I'm going to get to that one next. I might have them in the wrong order, but I love this piece. I love primitive because it's simple and it gives you, the design is simple, but it gives you so much room for plugging in like multicolored pieces, patterned pieces, fooling with colors. You know, you have got a very simple motif in the center, and I love this design. It's almost musical to look at, right? It's so beautiful. I love the way that it fits in with the border. You know, you did the border so expertly. Different colors, right? They're colors that are already present in the piece. By the way, I love the whipping on this. But I just love that it's not like regulated. It's not measured. You've got your colors in sort of intermittent um, in different places here and there, and you're not kind of making a pattern out of that border. It really adds to it because the shape on the inside is really sharp and structured, right? It is a beautiful shape, but it is a design, right? It's a very strong motif, very strong lines. And then in the border, it's like you went off the grid and you're like, I'm not going to do things like by the book. I'm just going to do kind of like seat of the pants hooking along the border. And it makes a great contrast to the real structure of the central motif. It's really pretty. It's a very strong piece, especially with that dark background. I know that's not solid black, has extra mystery built in there. But there's a lot of mystery in this piece. For a piece with simple lines, the star's got a lot of color, the border's got a lot of color, the background is not solid, the leaves are not solid, right? But it is still a very stable piece because it's a really crisp design and a nice crisp design with those classic seasonal colors on a dark background. Doesn't get any better than that, does it? That is so pretty. So pretty. Star shape is great. Barbara, that's a great thing to remark on. You know, because we have so many different types of stars that are out there. The primitive star is usually irregular, right? That's probably something that we can all agree on. The primitive star is hardly ever an exactly perfect star. You get like elongated. Gosh, I wonder if the like tips, the pointy bits on the star have a specific name. But with primitive, you usually it's unbalanced and unequal, and giving it that naive look, like it's not perfectly drawn with like a protractor or whatever tool. It's an unusual shape, and it does give it a lot of weight and a lot of interest because the shape is not exactly the star shape, like the perfect star shape, right? It's the primitive star shape, but the holly and the berries are absolutely perfect. So the star becomes the main character, and that is really interesting when you look at a piece, whether it's a complicated piece or a primitive piece. When you look at a piece and it's very clear who the main character is, the star is actually the star here. That always means that it's successful, right? You know exactly what you're supposed to be looking at. And then once you've ascertained who the star is, you can enjoy the whole show. But it is good. It is good to know what the main part is. In here, it's certainly the star. Also, the size is
I
helping
just
us.
did it. I'm about to hatch
Oh,
one.
are you breeding some creatures, Joss?
I chose the cool, like, malachite looking one.
Choosing the malachite one. All right. Now this is what you were talking about. You said Santa is decked out in paisley and holding two sparkly Christmas trees. Ooh, are they sparkly? I'm gonna have to stretch that out. Ooh, ooh, ooh. He's on his way to the framer and hopefully hanging in our home by Christmas time. Oh, Kathy, I hope so too. Let me stretch him out a little bit. I want to see his sparkles. I want to see the sparkle farkles. Let's see. I really love this piece too. Another great primitive piece, right? Not just because it has simple lines, but there's this thing with proportion, right? Santa is as large as the trees, right? That has this make-believe quality to it because like he's almost well, he is mythical. And maybe he's not mythical. Joss is sitting right there, but he's as big as the trees, right? He's like
I'm mythical.
you are mythical. All right. Gosh, Kathy, what did you use to hook it? That is so pretty. That's not just like door sparkle wool, right? Goes above and beyond door sparkle wool. Again, this is like your last piece. Really, really smart. Lots of mottled color. I love that the trees are mottled and sparkly. I love that mottled indigo in the background. I love that Santa is simple, anonymous. We're not looking at an exact Santa face that we're locking in and clocking his features. I love to see this kind of, I love to see a face expressed in this way, right? Sparkle yarn. Okay, awesome. Sparkle yarn. And is that the color, or did you mix it in with a second yarn or wool strips, or it was just full blast sparkle yarn? I mean, this is like the best sparkle I've ever seen. I would love to find this sparkle yarn. I love the way that oh, wait a minute. You said something about Santa's coat. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay, Buttons is going to kill someone. I think I may have sent. No, you sent me an email later, but you hadn't sent me all the photos, so I'm glad that you sent that email. Oh, you said Santa's cloak is made from a piece of vintage paisley. And I'm going to stretch it out. Oh, Jocelyn, let the animal out, will you? Before I start barking, mad barking. All right, hang on. I guess I'm the only person who hears the animal barking. Santa's coat is not the traditional coat either. That's right, Pam. It's like the Saint Nicholas coat, more of a European style. It has more. Exactly right. He doesn't have like the trousers and the black boots with the white coat. He's not the Coca-Cola Santa, right? Like the Thomas Nast Santa. He's not him. He is wearing the long robe. He is much more of a Father Christmas character than a Santa Claus character. Very old world, very cool. And the fact that you use the paisley, Kathy, is brilliant. I mean, the paisley gives it the je ne sais quoi that you cannot get from anything but paisley. It is absolutely beautiful. Kathy says hand-dyed sparkle. Oh, it's Dion Fitzpatrick hand-dyed sparkle wool. Oh, I'm feeling challenged all of the sudden. Gosh, that's amazing. It's absolutely beautiful. I like how the right side is. Oh, I didn't even know. Now, what's the ground, Kathy? Is that like chenille? That is really, really great snow. This looks so. I'm going to make it small again so we can enjoy it all at once again. That is really, really good. This is one of my all-time favorite Santas, I have to say, because I do like a good old world Santa. I love the simplicity of him. He's really sweet and simple, but there is a lot going on here. It's way more than meets the eye. I love the shape of the trees as well. Paisley was a great inspiration. He looks absolutely incredible. And since I said Paisley, I want to show you one of the projects I'm working on. Let me see if I can drag it over. See if I can make this work without spilling something. Oh, let's see. I'm working on a Jane Austen thing right here. I might have to take off the camera. Let me do that. In the Jane Austen Advent Calendar, I've mentioned, I don't know, I lost track of what day you're on, and I will catch up with you when I come back from the week. But there are 3 Paisleys in the Jane Austen Advent Calendar, and I've got 3 Paisleys here in this piece that I'm working on. I want to show you. See if I can do this without a tragedy. Let's see. I don't have a lot of light on this. That's the thing. Let's see. Yeah, that's a little bit better. So this is a Jane Austen design that I'm working on. It's going to come out soon for the Jane Austen month. But indeed, I would rather have nothing but tea. And there's three girls right in the teacup and whatever, and there's like a little. I kind of drew this on as I went. I'm deciding if I want that, and I don't know if you can tell, and I'm afraid to move my thing too much because the Christmas tree's behind me. But can you see that those are three different paisleys in the girls' dresses? And maybe you can't make out the pattern immediately. At least two of them are in the advent calendar, if not three. But you probably can't make out immediately that they are paisley. But you do when you look at paisley having been hooked, you do get the feeling that there is this static quality to it. Like it's fuzzy, it's busy, it's rich, it's exciting, it's mysterious, right? There is something about paisley. Um,
Okay, but can I show you?
Nope, nope. I'm doing a live show. Unless you want to read your poem. No, I don't want to see. I don't want to
When
see.
can I read my poem?
Oh, you can read your poem whenever you want.
Oh, I'm gonna
I want to finish looking at Kathy's stuff. The middle one looks similar to what I used. Yeah, that's like the tomato red. That's the classic, like the tomato soup color. Really good. And Kathy, you also added that white snow that was so fetching. The white snow right here. You said it is chenille. Because it's a bulky yarn, it is raised. Yeah, you know, the chenille and the velvet yarns, bless you, Ted, are so exceptional, and they're at the craft stores. They don't break the bank. They give such a good effect to hookers. For punchers, I have never had luck punching or punching the velvet yarn or the chenille. But maybe you have. I haven't. But hooking it, yeah, man, it hooks really well. And it really was a great inspiration to plug that in the ground. That makes perfect sense. Um, Beautiful. Let me look at the other two. Joss has a Christmas poem that she wants to read to you. So I'm going to let her do that in a minute. But in the meantime, I just want to. Oh, you know what, Kathy? Wait a minute. You know what? I have your others at the end of the show. So, Joss, would you like to sit where I'm sitting and read your poem?
Yeah.
Okay,
Can
excellent.
I share with you what I hatched?
No, I don't want to see what you hatched, but I would love to hear the poem.
Okay.
Okay, so you have 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, and then I'm going to go on to the
Where's
next
the
slide.
book?
Oh, I don't know. It's right here.
Oh, I don't remember what page it
All
was.
right. Well, you figure that out. I'm going to go to the next slide.
Oh
Getting my buttons
I named
pressed.
him Sock, and he's so adorable.
I know. He's adorable.
Look at the little face.
Oh my God. I can't. I'm looking for a slide. Hang on.
When you're ready, he's right there.
He's cute. He's so cute. Oh, it's Jessica. Jessica is on deck. I don't think Jessica got my message that I left. So, Joss, hold on 2 minutes. Find it and then let me know when you're ready. Now, Jessica Troyer sent three images that I'm going to share here. Now, this is one that we looked at before, I think during a coffee time. And man, I was looking at this for a long time. We talked about this for a long time, the reflection, the colors. Now, I just want to read you um, what she wrote, and then I want to look. I wanted to remind you about this one because we looked at that one in great detail, and it's one of my favorite things ever. But I wanted to read you what she wrote because it is like it makes it all make sense. The next two rugs that you're going to see of hers, including that one that you just saw with her mother on the park bench and the kids and all of that, absolutely beautiful. Or are you coming to read a poem? Why don't you read a poem and then we're going to look at Jessica's stuff. Would you like to sit in the chair?
Oh, you just covered sock.
Would you like to sit in the chair?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to
Can you look
move.
at socks?
Yes. Can you zip it up?
Yeah.
Okay. You sit here for a second. Here we go. Oh, Jiminy Cricket. All right. Now read nice and slow so people can.
Okay, and you take a look at my
Sock is
little
amazing.
picture. Okay. This poem is called Frayed Cats, which is afraid cats but shortened. I don't know.
Like Frady Cats.
No, it's like afraid but without the A.
Nice.
Okay. So it starts with the sun has hid its big bright eyes or its big bright eye for all of 11 days. Like 11?
Maybe like the 12 days of Christmas, but 11 of them so far.
For all of, I'm just gonna, whenever it says one of those things where it doesn't include a letter, I'm just gonna say the finished one.
Yeah.
Okay. Afraid cats. The sun has hid its big bright eye for all of 11 days. His flaming head of gorgeous red he hasn't dared to raise. And why? 'Cause he's scared, you see, we'll put him on the Christmas tree. The moon is just as timid, too. She's very careful now, and hides will never see her in the blue for the darkest clouds she rides. And why? 'Cause she's scared, you see, we'll put her on the Christmas tree.
Hmm.
And yeah, that's the end.
That's so cute. Both the sun, both what was it? Both the moon and the was it the sun and the moon that were afraid you're gonna turn them into ornaments and put them on the Christmas tree?
Yeah.
That really is so cute, isn't it?
Can I show them my new dot?
Yes, and then you need to leave the seed.
Here's my new dot that I just bred called Sock.
It's a very good dot.
It's kind of hard to see, but there he is.
It's excellent, Joss. Thank you for reading that poem. It reminds me of when you read the Halloween poem way back when.
Oh, does anyone know what the video was called when I wrapped the pumpkin
I
sock?
know.
If anyone knows what that episode is called, please tell us so we can watch us wrapping the pumpkins.
I know you loved that. I will look for it. It's got to be. Get out of the chair. It's got to be one of our Halloween episodes from way back when she did the rap, right? Like the of the pumpkin poem. Oh, Joss, you are a gem. All right, so let's see. Let's come back over here. Now, I was just about to share Jessica's email. So, just a review, right? Let's just jump back in, get our heads back in. This is the rug that we've seen before that I super loved. I was really aggressively saying, Jessica, anything else that you do, please send. Make sure that I see it because I really, really, really want to see her stuff. This was new to me. I feel like I can't remember the details. Maybe she'll tell us in the email. I want to thank Jane as well for alerting me that this email was going to be a tearjerker so that I could skim it before I got live because that sometimes happens. So your buddies are saying, good job, Joss. It was a hard one to read because it's from like a really, one of these like 1900s books, Good job, sweetie. So Jessica wrote, attached are 3 rugs I worked on during the last 2 months. 2 that I have shared in the Facebook group recently. So those are the ones that we saw. Maybe you saw them or maybe you missed. Rug hooking has been a great stress relief as my mom has gone into hospice and we have enjoyed as much time with her as we can. My dad passed 11 years ago and his presence is very much felt in each of the rugs. Number 1 is called It Is Well. And Jessica says, I hooked this in a weekend sitting next to her, meaning her mom, in her hospital room, not knowing if she would ever walk out of it. The subjects are my mom and my 4 kids sitting on a bench at a spot where I used to frequently walk with my dad. Whew. Good thing I read it, right? Because it's only going to get worse. And I mean, it's only going to get better, but in terms of being a choker, right? These are going to be super sentimental pieces. The storytelling is phenomenal with Jessica's pieces. Teddy, remember I'm live. Remember I'm live. I wrote to her today because I had not seen this piece before, and I literally almost dropped dead. Like when I couldn't believe my eyes. I have not seen this piece, and I thought this was phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. So this piece is called His Eye on the Sparrow. Another rug hooked in 2 days while His Eye on the Sparrow. Another rug I hooked in 2 days while staying with my mom in the hospital. The song replayed over and over in my head as I hooked. Why should I feel discouraged? Why should the shadows come? Why should my heart feel lonely and long for heaven and home? I sang that song in front of my dad's childhood church, which we visited every year for Homecoming Sunday, hence the stained glass style of the birds and the little chapel. I picture the small group of older ladies flocking happily around my dad like funny little birds. They all thought he hung the moon. I always thought so too. All of those saints, including my dad, have long passed away. It's unfinished. I'm planning to add a little branch and maybe taking the chapel out because it's too busy looking, but I thought I'd sit with it for a while. Um, I'm gonna hold on that for a second because I have one more, and I'm gonna write this to Jessica and get your opinion too. But I would definitely not take the chapel out. For me, the chapel is what is it's emphasizing the song, right? The hymn. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm guessing that your dad is the center bird maybe, and that the ladies flocking around him, or maybe he's the cardinal. But you said it was like he's one of the birds, I think, and then the other characters, the other birds are like ladies flocking around him, everybody loving him, admiring him. This is just incredible and kind of based on the church of his childhood, where you had annual visits and you have memories of attending. Such a This is just such a stellar piece of work. There are some colossal rugs in the show tonight. Oh, Sue's hello in Kansas. I'm gonna say this too. Anne agrees. Keep the chapel. Yeah, please keep the chapel. Don't get rid of the chapel. It's not busy. It's fantastic. It's very cohesive, right? With the text, it's very cohesive. Everybody, Pamela says keep the chapel. It really holds together well. It does read as like a hat tip to a stained glass window in a church. We're talking about a specific church. Jessica, your rugs are story rugs, hands down, right? That is the number one thing you do is you tell stories in your rugs. The church is the center. Well, your dad is the center of the story, but his church, right, is a huge part of this story. You must keep the church. Barbara also says, in heart and soul rug. And Judy says, she did such a beautiful job mirroring the stained glass colors from the chapel with the birds. I would keep the chapel. I agree. The windows of the church really sort of echo the colors of the birds and vice versa. Beautiful directional hooking in the background, by the way. Beautiful text. It looks like it could have come out of a, notebook, like you were writing in a notebook. It looks like, and it is your handwriting. This is so phenomenal. I really hope that you don't take the church out. That really is the most important piece. Without having the church in there, we see a lot of designs that look like Tiffany glass windows, like stained glass. It's a big niche of rug hooking, and it's not that it's common. It's always cool and special to see every single rug, and certainly your birds are different than any stained glass rug I've ever seen. But it really tips the scale having the church in there too, and it's situated in the perfect place because there's text on the other three corners. Kathy says, don't you think this is what rug hooking should be for us? A statement of who we are and where we've been. The fact that it's been so well executed only adds to its being. Absolutely. Perfectly said. Well said. Thank you. Yeah, this is exactly what rug hooking is, right? And it's like, I don't want to do myself in, but sitting at someone's bedside in these horrible sort of eventualities, these terrible health situations, with parents, loved ones, sitting at someone's bedside and staying calm and quiet, working on a project like this that is also like a tribute, right? I mean, this is what life is about, right? This is life in a nutshell. You captured it, and you made it during like these crucial times too. And that's embedded in the rug, right? That whole atmosphere is embedded in the rug. It's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely. I wouldn't change a thing, not a thing. And there is one more that Jessica did, and it is this one. And you wrote, my mom walking with her great grandson. My brother's grandson is autistic and never shows much physical affection. On this day, my brother and my mom went to visit, and he jumped into my brother's arms, and they just clung to each other. And he initiated holding my mom's hand. He never did that before. It felt like a miracle. The tiger lilies framing them are my dad's favorite. So, Jessica, here's your dad again with the tiger lilies. Funnily enough, tiger lilies were my dad's favorite too because August was like his favorite month. And this is and there's tons of tiger lilies on Cape Cod. So, tiger lilies are big in our family too. We have a lot in common. I'm planning to give this to my brother as a thank you for helping my mom so much. Whew, it is a tearjerker, Jessica. I gotta say, this is such beautiful work. And you write at the end of your message, so many tears hooking these, but it felt like a healthy thing. It is a healthy thing, isn't it? It is a healthy thing. And it's like, it's high art. When you get into these these places of high emotion, extreme emotion, um, art is the best outlet. Even if you are obviously highly artistic, but even for people who are not artistic, this is why art therapy is such a big deal. Because just working on something creative at these crucial moments where you are physically, mentally, and emotionally hitting a wall at the same time, the best thing that you can do is work on art projects. And I mean, your rugs transcend art projects. Judy says, "Now I'm crying. My son is autistic and rarely shows affection, so I know how much that gesture meant." Oh, don't make me start crying too, or I won't be able to finish the dang show.
You're like,
Because
now
my son is autistic
you're like,
too.
now I'm crying in a normal voice.
I know, I know. I moderate myself, Jess. I have a theater degree. Don't forget. But I am, yeah. It is a total choker upper.
So when you're crying and you're wait, so when you need to cry, you're like, I'm crying.
No, no. Jocelyn is obsessed with the idea of being able to cry on demand. That is the opposite. That is the opposite of what we're
No,
talking
I
about.
mean like you were like,
So with this piece, I think part of what's so interesting for me is the composition. This is an incredible composition. This is what's called a T composition because we're looking at a horizon line or a point on the horizon, which is right above the child's head, right, the trunk of the dark tree there, and we are seeing the shape of a T, right? The path that's Teddy is very affectionate. You're right, but he didn't used to be, Judy. He went years where you really couldn't touch him. He jumped a mile if you touched him. That was years. And then all of a sudden, the script got flipped, and I don't know how. Something, a light switch. But yeah, if many, many years it was like that. The path goes straight out, and then perpendicular, we're seeing another path. We're seeing an additional device. We're seeing many additional devices here. So it is a T composition. We're seeing framework happening here. Like the stone gates are framing the path that's the journey, right? So the gates are almost like bookends supporting what the characters are doing, what the two people are doing. They're serving as bookends for the two people. So that's just like a second layer of compositional bling. To boot, right, even to top that off, we have a canopy of trees that are working perfectly with the colors in the composition, with the tiger lilies, with the child's orange outfit with black flecks, right? All of that is working as a canopy, almost like stage curtains, like a proscenium, right? These are three composition devices layered onto each other, and it is not too much. It's absolutely perfect. What is really killing me is that the mom's head is in such great contrast to that colorful tree that's hanging low. That is brilliant because the fact of that tree being so colorful behind her, that colorful tree also the colors of it are present in the foregrounds that they're walking through, like all these little dots of color, right? So that's either color changing wool or it's many different colors of wool being pulled up. Little tiny touch of the Tiffany glass with the tiger lilies because they're outlined. So it reminds me a hair of stained glass. Lots of devices happening here. But the fact of that reddish tree behind mom's head and then the same color of flowers being on the ground, it's almost like the story that they're walking through, all of that field of colors on the ground, is also the story that they're walking toward, right? That's like crazy interpretation, but it does make me think about eternity. It's got a lot of, I feel, symbolism in it. Kathy says the brick pillars are so realistic. They really are. They're super well done. The perspective is great on this. You've got a lot of sort of Art Nouveau shading, right? To talk about Alphonse Mucha, right? We've got a lot of that kind of shading and framing happening, but you also have some realism. The funny thing is, you have the sort of Art Deco feel, high contrast shading, very graphic handling in the very top of the piece and the very bottom of the piece. And that bar in the middle with your mom and your son and the brick, that just horizontal center to it is quite realistic. So the top and bottom are a little bit different. And for me, that also adds to the idea. It kind of separates the story. The lines in the pavement that they're walking on also kind of separate the story. There's lots of separations here, right? There's lots of stops and starts, walking through the stone wall, walking toward another street that presumably will have to be crossed. There's lots going on here. It's probably, I think, taken from a photograph, but it's an absolutely ideal photograph. It is an extraordinary piece. These are three extraordinary works. Jessica, I just don't know what to say. I wrote to her earlier and I said, that I would love to talk to you more, particularly now that I have figured out the science of, frame this out a little bit better, of having two people on the computer at once to talk over Zoom during our live shows. Jocelyn, I will call on you in a moment. She's got her hand raised for the last 5 minutes. Um, I was hoping that Jessica might want to come on and talk to me at some time about her work, because I feel like she's a beginner hooker, not from the way her stuff looks. I just feel like I remember that from past coffee times and her having written. But I would love to talk to her more about her pieces and stuff. There are some people who there's no right way to approach any craft, right? No matter what it is you do, we make rugs, right? Really, we make tapestries with a hook. I'm getting really tired of just saying rugs. From now on, I think I'm just going to say we make tapestries, but we do it with a hook and not on a loom. That to me makes more sense. But it's like we all do stuff for different reasons, and sometimes I do stuff that's small and quick, that's just like for fun. I'm doing, let me see if I can reach it. This piece here is just for now, and it's for fun and it's quick, and I'm doing a little one of these guys in mini punch, right? Like just boop, I did that. This represents 10-15 minutes of work so far, but I'm doing it in mini punch, right? So you'll see more of that later. Just kind of a nothing kind of a thing. And I'm working on the Jane Austen's, because of a specific project. At different times we do different things for different reasons, but I'm getting the real feeling that Jessica does stuff like she's a storyteller, and that when we see rugs from her, it is going to be her working out stuff that's going on in her life. But I bet you anything, even 10 years from now, or when we get some more traction, hopefully she will still be, firm in our group and still be working on projects, because I would love to see the trajectory of her work, and I would love to see some of her future stories. I have a feeling she's never just going to fill in patterns the way that I do. She's probably always going to want to tell stories in her patterns, because that's how she figured out how to deal with stuff, and that's how she started. So probably every time she sits down, she's going to be trying to pull from inside to figure out, what story am I here to tell this time, which is going to be really interesting. It's going to be like a watch this spot, because she is phenomenal. Jocelyn, were you going to say something?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna tell you. You know how I've really wanted Cheetos hottest ever pepper puffs. And I've
Yes.
been wanting those forever, but we can't find them anymore. I
Yes.
found a website called Go Puff, and they have them on here.
Excellent.
Can you get me some?
Yes, send me the link. So I'm very happy to know that Cheetos, the extra hot, spicy, fiery puffs, are available online. I knew there was a reason why I couldn't sleep last night. I thought it was because I have a lot of work to do and the holidays are coming up and I'm always worried about money. But it may be subliminally, I'm being terribly
It's
sarcastic.
because you don't have pepper puffs.
It's because I don't have pepper puffs. Anyway, moving right along. All right. Jesus. All right. So, Jessica, those are absolutely astonishingly great. Astonishingly great. Like life-changingly great. Oh, this is another beauty. Shirley Dusky. This is the first time we've looked at a piece of yours on Cocktail Time, Coffee Time, right? This is so beautiful. Thank you so much for sending this in. Shirley wrote and said, this is for a 1-year-old boy. This was a watercolor that she downloaded from an Etsy business for just under $5. So the charge was just $5 to be able to use this. And she made it approximately 21 by 22 inches. It's number 2 and number 4 cuts for the elephant on a number 6 cut background. This, Shirley, this is fantastic. What a fun piece. I'm guessing it's for Tommy. Everything about this piece I love. This is perfect for a little boy. This is going to be something that he can grow with. You know, it's not babyish either. It's super appealing. Those big eyes on that little baby elephant, super appealing, but it's not babyish. It's not cartoony. Pam says, "What a sweet baby elephant. Gorgeous hooking." It really is. You know, and it really the fact, thank you so much, Shirley, for saying that you the exact cuts. The elephant 2 and 4 and the background 6. So, because I was talking to I was talking to my friend Dorothy on the phone today, and she was ordering some stuff, and we were talking about cuts and stuff. And you know, I don't say enough that it makes a lot of sense to hook up. Teddy, I'm on a live show. To hook a background in a larger cut than your main motifs, so that you can get the lines in to whatever extent you want, the details, whatever you want, without crowd. If we're not talking about primitive pieces, right? We're talking about not primitive pieces. But it makes a lot of sense to hook the background slightly larger, because when you have a big open background like this, and Barbara says background is perfect showcase for the elephant. It absolutely is. You know, these big spots, right? Almost looks like skin or something. Two different colors of gray, a very warm rosy gray for the polka dots, a very blue stone gray for the background, and it's very mottled. And the elephant himself, the little baby elephant, very clean, very white, right? Just like a perfect little character, perfect little body, so sweet, right? Very small, like Tommy, right? It could be the same age as Tommy, really, because elephants are so enormous. Just a beautiful piece, Shirley. This is an heirloom. It's the perfect gift, and you really found a great illustration to use for this. And they are, yeah, Kathy, they are bubbles. I mean, it's just so smart. Such a smart piece. He's both realistic and graphic. I love that the lines, like the little lines on his head, that you know how sometimes elephants have the like a little bit of a hairy head. I mean, it's the cutest thing, isn't it? They have the cutest little bodies, all the little saggy baggy wrinkles, the little toes picked out perfectly, and I love the giant ears with so much color in them. And the eyes. The eyes are very expressive, aren't they? That's where you need those tiny little cuts. Yeah, Linda, it's great, isn't it? Very smart piece, Shirley. Thank you so much. Really smart piece. Love it. Um, I love all of these. There's not a single one that I'm like lukewarm on, you know. Pam, you sent some beauties in too. Gosh, now this is very different. I'm loving this. I put it this way because you put it this way. And Pam, just so you know, I wasn't able to unlock it from my computer because I didn't have the program somehow. So I had to pull it up on my phone and do a screenshot. And I'm hoping that the quality is okay. It is for me because it's so small, but if it's not okay for you, then I'm going to want to show it on the next show because I really want to show the colors. It's a beautiful piece. I was just struggling with being able to open it and use it, and I had to use my phone to get there. And Kim says tiger lilies are your favorite flowers too. They are so different, aren't they? They're like the essence of summer, a tiger lily. It's like everything that you need to know about summer. You just show someone a tiger lily and it's all there. Like all of the details, it's all right there. So Pam, you said cheers. This is my latest finished hooked runner wall hanging. I like it as a hanging, but it could be either. Yeah, absolutely it could. I was inspired by fellow Ribbon Candy Hooking member Barbara Cornish and her family gift mats. Oh, so I borrowed her idea and asked my sisters for their favorite two colors, and this is the one I hooked for my sister, Elaine. Navy blue, purple, orange, her college team colors for Auburn and Clemson. Oh, how cool is that? I had recently spun the background color, I never know how to say this word, Malabrigo Noob Kendomi colorway. That's a mouthful. On my Nano 2, there you go, little spinning wheel, little electric spinning wheel, and it seemed just right for these colors. There are some other hand spun yarns in this, as well as commercial wool, acrylic, and some chunky velvet yarn. It didn't take long to do this. I was surprised, and I really enjoyed making it. I think she will be surprised. I wish I could get a better photo of the color. Oh, okay. The orange border is really orange, but the light bounces right off. I see what you mean. So maybe it wasn't completely me. I was struggling because I was playing with the levels of color on it. It is so pretty. See, there's a little bit of like inspiration happening here. Barbara gave you this great idea. Now you can carry it to your family. That is just perfect, isn't it? And the fact that you made such a like thoughtful selection about colors based on college colors, like that is so meaningful. That is exactly, like Kathy just said, that is exactly what this craft is about, right? We're able to make these decisions, to plan things down to the T, to be thoughtful about every part of the composition, the design, the color, everything. And these are, Pam, this kind of composition is quick to hook. Now you're used to hooking stuff that's very, very different, and that's my next slide. But this is really fun. It's really effective. It's very artsy, has a great boho feel to it. I love that some of them are ringed and some of them aren't. It's not a pattern because it doesn't have a reliable repeat, but there are some circles that repeat in the same colors. It's because it's all the same shape, right? It's a very stable composition. It's very, very cool. And Pam said, Tommy said he will take a really good picture for me. Okay, excellent, of this rug. He's a better photographer. So Pam, don't forget, and no pressure for Tommy, but next, I'm thinking because I'm never going to get to the rest of cocktail time. I was moving very, very slow and having a little bit too much fun tonight. But I have tons more for tonight that I'll never get to. Um, and I'm not going to rush through it. So I'm not going to log off just yet. I want to look at Pam's second one. But I'm going to say, let's do this again next Friday night and do just a continuation of gallery night. And Pam, if Tommy has a chance to take a picture of it, I'll put it in for next Friday. If anybody else has any other stuff that they want to put in, please send it to me and I'll put it in next Friday. But I'm not done. I'm just putting the word out there. Barbara says, I love how the circles are perfect. They have so much character. Um, oh, see, I have this stupid heart that is at the bottom of my thing and it covers the last person's message every time someone writes. I just love this piece. Um, are not perfect. Okay, that's what you meant. Yeah, it's nice that they're not perfect because when they are perfect, they read as polka dots. Right now, they read as a motif. A motif is always better than a polka dot. It is a fantastic composition. And, to put down as a runner or a wall piece, either way, it's going to be fantastic. A great pop of color, right? Meaningful colors. Just going to be super, super fun. Okay, thank you to Tommy. I love it. I just love this piece. I think this is a great idea as well. So, Pam, this is different than what you know. This is a different style for you. This is your usual style. And I'm so sorry I missed this coming into my box. I would have immediately remarked on it. This is Flowers of the Forest. This is your next, like, more realistic piece. It is like, oh, God. I mean, I love all of your work, right? I love your graphic work. I love your more realistic work. This is incredible. Like, this is incredible. It's good to work in more than one style, right? All great artists do work in more than one style. It just helps you stretch and grow. It helps you rinse your brain and reset yourself. I mean, you work at a very high level in every style that you work in because you're an artist. Now, I don't know how I missed this. Flowers of the Forest, hooked with wool and handspun wool yarn. It's linen burlap, 11. So it's a linen backing. Uh-oh. Don't listen to me yawn. I'm not bored. It's been a long day. It is 18 by 28. This is your own design. Now, we saw you start this design it was at least a couple of cocktail nights ago, I think, gallery nights, because you were questioning the background colors, and I remember this conversation. I remember you got lots of suggestions. I can't remember what my suggestion was, but whatever, it doesn't matter because you found the absolutely ideal background color for this. This could not be any better. It couldn't be any better. You found it. This is magic. This is alchemy. You nailed it. I want to read what you wrote about it, but I'm just looking at it. I'm looking at that color of the leaves, that very citrusy kind of chartreusey bright color to the leaves, great light on the leaves, working so well with that colorful brown ground and those dark silhouettes of the smaller flowers and buds in the background. So smart, so smart. And the kind of like dandelion puffs, super, super smart. Everything about the body of the flower, like the thistly flowers, um, absolutely amazing. Let me read what they are because I'm sure that they're not called thistly flowers. So you wrote, this is an homage to my family's military roots. The three dandelion clocks, okay, so those are dandelion clocks, are my sisters and myself. God, is that perfect? Military brats. The thistle flowers are my military. Oh, okay, I got you. The dandelion. So the dandelions are the white ones in the background. Is that it, right? The dandelions are the puffy puffs. And okay, the military brats, and then the thistle flowers. Okay, so they are thistles, are my military family from my Scottish ancestors who fought in many wars over the centuries to my great greats plus besides the Revolutionary War, the Civil War, your grandfathers in the World War I, your father in World War II and Korea. Wow, this is a service family. Holy mackerel. And you wrote, thanks everyone for sharing the journey with me. It's been a lot of fun. Wow, so this has so much embedded meaning, just like your last piece. Your last piece was graphic in a very different style, but so much meaning, so much thought about composition and color. Same thing with this, just a different style. So much thought about composition and color and the generations, right? And I love the backstory to this. This is a great storytelling piece. Another great storytelling piece. It's super, super beautiful. The thistles, the colors in the thistles are just so beautiful. It's so, I mean, it's the low hanging fruit to do a flower exactly in the colors that you would expect to see it in, and limited, right? You always go way out on a limb. There's so much color in these flowers, just like in that brown ground. There's so much color in it. It adds so much to the overall feel of the piece. Where there is color, you've got very unusual color. None of it is the low hanging fruit. It's very, very unusual. And then in the background, this really light gray sky. I don't even know how to describe that color. It's icy. It's it, it it's perfect. It's not a neutral, but it's a very crisp, clean color with all of these wispy white shapes running through it, really echoing the organic feel, the subject of this. Um, you made this wonderful. You made this magical. Because it is hard to hook pictures of a plant, right? It is hard. But you, even without knowing the backstory, this is really, really something spectacular. You're so good. You are so good. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I absolutely love that. I'm so sorry I didn't write sooner to remark on that because if I had seen that in my inbox, I would have remarked on that. I am so sorry. I don't always check the inbox because I've got a lot of stuff going on. And, and sometimes if anything's gallery night, I think, oh, I'll just check when the time is right. Absolutely beautiful. There were three background colors in wool. Okay, let me see that then. There were three background colors in wool. Let me stretch this out a little bit before we leave this slide. Hang on a second. Let's see. This is really going to be. Let me unlock. Is this us here? No, that's not us. Hang on. I did something naughty. All right, hang on. We got this. Um, leave it to you, Mama. There we go. There we go. Flowers of the Forest. Unlock. Come on, you stinker. Ooh. Three background colors. God, you're good. I see what you mean. That light white color that's doing the streakies. That very cloud. That is a cloud. Like it's like you actually bottled a cloud and then you somehow managed to translate it into yarn. It's incredible. There is a dark and a light value in the background besides the white. So that must be where the three colors are. It's really extraordinary. And now I'm seeing the colors of the thistles better. It's really extraordinary. It's a super smart piece. It's just wow. Are you gonna be entering it into anything this year, I'm wondering. I love it. I love it. I love everything that we saw tonight. Was exceptional, wasn't it? And I don't want to stay on and rush stuff because on deck I had Andrea and Linda Schultes Hoffman, Mary Beth, Linda, Beverly. These are all great pieces that we have coming up. Lynn for the thumbnail I used from Stonehill House. Uh, Linda B. Betsy Lewis. I had some great pieces coming up. And you know what? They are still there. They're right there in the slideshow. They're not going anywhere. I'm going to put out of my script for tonight. That's these pages, right? It's maybe 6 pages. I got through 1 page, right? But we were fooling around a lot too. And hey, what are Friday nights for? Particularly when they're on Thursdays. So let's save those for next Friday. Let me just double check that we are good for that date. I'm pretty sure we are. Because while we're away this weekend, next weekend is Teddy's birthday. Teddy's birthday is on the 17th, but um, we are going to be heading into New York City. That is what he would like to do for his birthday, stay overnight in New York City. But we're not leaving until his birthday. So I am actually free on Friday, which is fantastic. We will be running cocktail night, gallery night, a conclusion of this episode, plus some more fantastic work that gets sent to me at ribboncandyhooking@gmail.com in the interim. So we will look forward to concluding this episode with the greatest hits of the people I just mentioned next Friday, which is December 15th. I will be with you for...
My hit's gonna be in the next one.
What is?
My hit's gonna be in the next.
I don't know. Do you have any hits to put in it, Josh? Do you have some greatest hits? I bet she has some greatest hits. We'll see what we can get done. Let me see. Hang on 1 second. And I want to catch up on some of these. Barbara said we have seen some amazing backgrounds tonight on all kinds of rugs, more realistic rugs, more primitive rugs. We have seen some stellar. The title of this episode could be like stellar backgrounds. I mean, it really was a theme. I didn't notice that until you said it, but it really was a theme. Judy said Flowers of the Forest is also, oh my gosh, a Scottish folk tune commemorating a famous battle. Judy, you are good. I bet Pam knows that, right? Pam must know. I did not know that. Great. That is really great. Flowers of the, you know what? Let me just take a quick picture of that because I want to check that out as a song. Let me just take a quick little picture of that thread. I will love looking that up. I don't know that song. Pam says 2 warm grays and a cooler gray. So the white was separate in the background, or was the white, the one that read as white, one of the cooler grays? You are a master. I mean, this is where your painting comes in, right? Like your knowledge of art is like super, super strong. 2 warm and 1. And Pam said this will be entered into the next guild show, as it should. And Pam says, yes, Judy, I think I sent that info to Deanna also. Oh, I didn't have that. I'm so sorry. I didn't have that in my write-up. Maybe it was in the other email and I copied and pasted the wrong email. I am so sorry. Thank you for getting that out there. Well done. Pam says, it was the Battle of Flodden. I had ancestors fighting in this war. Holy mackerel. Judy says, it's a lovely way to commemorate your family's long service, Pamela. Absolutely it is. And Anne said, thanks. Love seeing everyone's work. Kim says, always enjoy being present. Love all your work, people. Thanks, Deanna, for bringing them to us. Thank you for sending them to me. Holy mackerel. If it was just this, we wouldn't be looking at much. But we have seen some of the most extraordinary rugs tonight, I'm telling you. Yes, all of the grays were separate. Wow. Wow. That's not the last time we're going to look at that rug, I'm sure. And then Tommy's going to send me the picture of the other one, or you're going to send it to me. I'm already really looking forward to Friday. So I will be with you on, I'll be with you on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday this week. So we will have our normal course of shows this week. I know in my head I already have things that I know that we're going to do together on the shows. I was thinking about, there's a lot of things I want to do with it being the holidays. I don't want to keep saying Christmas because I know not everybody celebrates Christmas, and I don't want to be insensitive. But it's me, and that I'm not being insensitive. If you don't celebrate Christmas, I'll celebrate whatever you want to celebrate with you too. But I just want to be sure we have lots of down days when we can kind of hang out and have fun and stuff. I was thinking of even logging on a couple of nights this month as soon as I finish getting these orders out, which I'm doing a really good job of catching up with everything. Um, I thought maybe it would be fun to have a couple of nights. I have so many old books with collections of short stories and stuff. And like the book that Joss read from tonight, I have a collection of, I mean, I have 50 of these from 1900 or the 1890s. Um, with little Christmas poems and short stories and stuff. I thought it might be fun to log on a couple of nights and be like your audio book in the background with some of this old sort of holiday winter stuff. While you're working on hooking, I could read some of this cute, nostalgic, copyright-free stuff and give you some time to hook while we listen to something that's like different that you might not have heard or might not have in your collection. I thought it might be good to have a couple of nice atmospheric nights where we're kind of doing a hooking kind of thing and I'm just background noise and we could be together that way. I'd like to do some live hooking later this month too, even if it's between Christmas and New Year's. I'd just like to spend some more time, just being together and working on stuff together and being live together. It's always fun. It's always positive. I always get new ideas. I always feel good when I log off. Like I could run a marathon or go to the fridge and have some more snacks. That's going to be a tough one, isn't it? So regardless, have a great weekend, everybody. Have a great Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I will be back with you Monday at noon Eastern Standard Time right here on the Ribbon Candy Hooking channel. If you want to send me anything new, ribboncandyhooking@gmail.com. I am always there. I will see you soon. Happy early weekend, everyone.